Socrates walked barefoot all over Greece, teaching people to seek wisdom in themselves. One day he sat under the shade of a tree and began talking to his disciples about virtue, happiness, and the meaning of life. As the sun slowly dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Socrates turned to his students and said, "Born into a wealthy family in the Greek colony of Cyrene in North Africa, Aristippus had the privilege of a comfortable life. But he didn't waste it. His father sent him to Athens to study under the renowned philosopher Socrates, and there his life changed forever. He continued to teach and write until his death around 306 BC. His writings, which included treatises on ethics, physics, and poetry, were highly influential in shaping the development of philosophical thought. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Every like and subscriber helps us to keep sharing these stories of wisdom and enlightenment. If you want to listen to more stories of great thinkers, click here, and if you want to watch videos of our top 10 series, click here. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. Even his critics had to admit his brilliance. They could unhelp but respect the man who had dedicated his life to the pursuit of wisdom and self. Now, it's important to note that Aristippus' ideas were not without their limitations. His focus on individual pleasure could be seen as conflicting with the needs of society, and his rejection of traditional religious beliefs could be seen as radical. Moreover, his teachings were primarily directed towards Greek-speaking men of the upper class, and women and non-Greeks were largely excluded from his philosophical community. Despite these limitations, Aristippus' contribution to philosophy remained significant. He helped to shift the focus of philosophical inquiry from the cosmos to the human condition, and he paved the way for future thinkers to explore the depths of the human psyche. He became a disciple of Socrates, learning the art of self-examination and critical thinking. It was his sanctuary, a place where he could escape the noise and reconnect with himself. Here, amidst the fragrant flowers and the gentle rustling of leaves, he would sit for hours in deep thought, pondering the mysteries of existence. One day, as he was strolling through the garden, he came across a young man who was pacing back and forth, clearly agitated. "What troubles you, my friend?" Aristippus asked kindly. The young man looked up, surprised that someone had noticed his distress. "I am torn between two choices," he said, "and I do not know which one to make." Aristippus smiled gently. "Tell me about your choices," he said. "Perhaps I can help." The young man hesitated for a moment, then began to speak. "I have two job offers," he said. "Both are well-paying and offer me a chance to advance in my career. But one of them requires me to move to another city, and although the job is better, I would be leaving behind my family and friends. I cannot help but feel torn between the opportunity and the responsibility I feel towards my loved ones. I crave the new experience, the challenges, the personal growth. But at the same time, I cannot bear the thought of leaving those who mean the world to me. How can I possibly decide?" Aristippus listened patiently, and when the young man fell silent, he spoke. "My friend, you are not torn between two choices," he said softly. "You are torn within yourself. Your desires pull you in one direction, but your sense of duty and responsibility pulls you in another. Which one is stronger?" The young man pondered this for a moment. "I believe my desire for personal growth and new experiences is stronger," he replied finally. "Then go," Aristippus said gently. "Follow your desires and pursue the opportunity that awaits you. You can always find ways to stay connected to your loved ones, no matter the distance. And if you discover later that your choice was wrong, you can always return home. The important thing is to follow your heart, to live a life true to your desires, even if it means facing challenges along the way." The young man looked up, his eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," he whispered. "Your words have given me clarity." And with that, he took the first steps toward his new journey, carrying with him the wisdom of the old philosopher. After Socrates' death, he returned to Cyrenaic, where he established a school of philosophy around 360 BC. Unlike the typical academy of the time, which charged fees for instruction, Aristippus made learning accessible to all, regardless of social status or wealth. He believed that knowledge should be shared freely, and he practiced what he preached. Throughout his life, he remained poor, though some accounts suggest he could have easily been rich, but he chose to live simply, owning no property and shunning material possessions. Despite his personal austerity, he urged his students to appreciate the pleasures of life, but not in an unrestrained way. For him, moderation and self-control were key. He advocated for a balanced approach to life, embracing the good things it offered while avoiding excesses. And this teaching resonated with many. People from all walks of life flocked to his school seeking guidance and wisdom. Some stayed for a few days, others for years. Among his notable students was the Roman philosopher Epicurus, who would later establish his own school of philosophy. The Stoics: "Who among you will continue my work after I am gone?" They sought pleasure, yes, but they also valued tranquility and freedom from pain. They believed that the key to happiness lay in understanding oneself and one's desires, and learning to live in harmony with nature. But as you can imagine, such teachings were not without critics. Many saw Aristippus' emphasis on pleasure as a license for indulgence and immorality. His contemporaries mocked him, accusing him of living a life of luxury and debauchery. "Aristippus loves a couch too much," they taunted him. Others criticized his lack of interest in politics, accusing him of being a dreamer who had no concern for the real world. However, Aristippus remained steadfast in his teachings, unfazed by the criticism. He knew that the path he was walking was not an easy one, but he was willing to walk it alone if he had to. He understood that the pursuit of pleasure was not a selfish endeavor, it was a means to a greater end, a life of freedom, self-mastery, and inner peace. And this is a lesson we can all learn from him. In a world that often glorifies self-denial and hard work as the path to success, it is refreshing to hear someone advocating for a life of balance and moderation. We don't have to deny ourselves all pleasures to be successful or fulfilled. We can find a middle path, a way to enjoy life without being consumed by it. Who will carry my teachings to distant lands? There were many takers, yes, eager young men who wanted to continue their teacher's legacy, but one man stood out from the crowd. He was older, wiser, and most importantly, had a plan. I will build a school, he told Socrates, a place where your teachings will flourish and inspire future generations. And so he did. He went on to found one of the most influential schools of philosophy in ancient Greece, attracting students from all over the known world. And yet he never forgot the lessons learned at the feet of the great Socrates. This man was Aristippus of Cyrene, founder of Cyrenaic hedonism. But what was Cyrenaic hedonism? You might have heard of hedonism in modern times, but back then it was pretty radical. Aristippus taught that pleasure is the main goal in life. But do not misunderstand it. It wasn't the kind of pleasure you may be thinking of, something based, degrading, or momentary. The pleasure he sought was the highest form of good, a state of deep inner peace and contentment. And if you think that sounds selfish, you'd be wrong. According to him, pleasure comes not just from satisfying our desires, but also from freeing ourselves from them. Pleasure is the ultimate goal, yes, but only because it leads to freedom. That's why he is often called the philosopher who inverted the relationship between desire and possession. Instead of being a slave to desire, we can become its master. And this freedom, it is truly blissful. When you're free from the chains of desire, when you don't need things to make you happy, you are free, truly free. You can walk through life with your head held high, not giving in to every passing temptation, not letting every desire dictate your actions. You are in control, not the other way around. And this is the secret of happiness. According to Aristippus, it is not in the pursuit of pleasure, but in the mastery over oneself. And this lesson is timeless, universal. Whether you are a businessman, a student, an artist, or a homemaker, you will face temptations, moments when you must choose between right and wrong, between what you want and what you should. Remember the words of Aristippus: be free from the chains of desire and you will find true happiness. And this is a story of how Aristippus lived that life to the fullest. The Cyrenaics were not just armchair philosophers. They put their ideas into practice, embracing a lifestyle that valued inner peace and self. In his later years, Aristippus traveled extensively, visiting Egypt, Persia, and other parts of the Mediterranean. In the bustling city of Athens, surrounded by the noise and chaos of everyday life, Aristippus found solace in a small garden. Friends, I hope you enjoyed this inspiring story based on the life of Aristippus.